It's so important to know that no matter who you are, no matter what you've done, no matter where you come from, you can always change to become a better version of yourself. And if you start today, in 60 days, you will become unrecognizable. Let me show you how. Because what most people don't realize is that I've reinvented myself a few times. When I was a freshman in high school, I had zero self-esteem. I lacked confidence and I was very insecure about my body. So I went on a 75-pound fat loss journey. When I was a freshman in college, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I had no passion, no purpose. I was lost and confused. By the time I graduated college, I had over 5 different internship experiences and a full-time job offer. Then when I graduated college, I was even more lost and confused. I felt unsettled. I needed change. I hated the snow and had seasonal depression for 8 months out of the year. And so I decided to pack all my things and move 100 miles south with no family, no friends to start a new life. And now I am working in my dream job as a sports marketer. So needless to say, I've reinvented myself a few times, but honestly, I have not done it alone. I've read over 50 plus books over the years that have taught me habits, systems, and routines that have allowed me to learn how to reinvent myself on a short period of time. Some of my favorites have been The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, 12-Week Year by Brian P. Moran, Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. That one is a gold mine. I highly recommend that. And Purpose Driven Life by Rick Warren, which has a more spiritual Christian aspect. And so ultimately what I want to do is pull together everything that I know that has helped me reinvent myself and share it all with you within this video. In 60 days, if you want to become a better version of yourself, here's exactly what you need to know. Number 1, pay yourself first. If you've read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, you have heard this system before. Typically what happens is that we all receive our paychecks and the first thing that we do is we help other people become rich. What do I mean by that? We pay our bills, we pay our rent, we pay our streaming services, we give all of our money away before investing it back into ourselves. And what the book Rich Dad Poor Dad has taught me is that the first thing that we should do is take our paycheck and take 10% of that and reinvest it back into ourselves, whether that's a Roth IRA, which means you're not going to be taxed on it by the end of the year, putting it into a savings account, or even putting it into a retirement fund. Regardless, it's so important to ensure that you are investing in yourself. You are growing the riches of your family, building generational wealth for you before you start paying everyone else. Because it may seem like I'm not going to have money by the end of this paycheck, or I may not be able to pay my rent. But over time, your body will start to adjust that if you pay yourself first, you'll start to figure out how to live with less, which is way more important so that you are building funds for you to be able to have more discretionary income to be able to make better decisions in the future. But it starts with you being able to pay yourself first. Have a primary aim for your life. People ask me all the time, Alaias, why are you so motivated? How are you so motivated? What do you do to get this motivated? And I look back at them and I say, how are you not motivated? I know why I'm here. I know what I stand for. I know what my purpose is. And when you have a primary aim for your life, the gravitational pull to go after that is unrelentless. I wake up every single day with such a fire in my beings to carry out my purpose. And if you're someone who you're like, I just struggle, like, I don't know what it is. What I want you to do is every single day for 5 minutes to write in a journal what you possibly think your purpose could be. And over time, after a week, after 2 weeks, you're going to have such a long list of things, and whatever seems the most prominent to you in that list, just try it. Just go after that, because what's going to happen is you trying something is going to pull you towards what you're actually supposed to be doing. And what's going to happen is your passion, your experiences, your gift, and the demand that's needed in the world is all going to come together to help you funnel what you're supposed to be doing. And it's going to be beautiful and chef's kiss when it all comes together. Envision your mentors are in every single decision with you. A lot of people give advice that you should just act as if you're your higher self, like fake the confidence and it'll come. I really struggled with that tip because, yeah, I can fake confidence, but it kind of made me have more of an imposter syndrome than actually acting things out. But what I did realize is I have a ton of mentors in my life. Some of them are people that I've just studied over years and I've never actually met. But some are people that I've met and I can actually have conversations with. And what I've started to do is when I'm making different decisions, whether what I'm going to eat in the day, what time I'm going to work out, if I even am going to go work out, I pretend that my mentor is standing right next to me. Why do I do that? Because it makes me think, Alaias, if you don't get your lazy butt out of bed and go work out, like, it forces me to act because I'm envisioning the person that I look up to, this person that I respect and admire, is standing right next to me. And a lot of times we'll let ourselves down. Like, let's be real. I will let myself down every single time it's possible. But if I feel like I'm letting somebody else down, if I feel like I'm letting someone who deeply loves me, cares about me, has invested time, energy, or resources into me, I'm going to do everything possible not to let them down. So if you struggle with just pretending to be your higher self, act like somebody that you love, deeply respect, is sitting in this decision with you. And what would you do if they were watching you? Assume that everybody is in love with you. I actually have a very practical example of this because I'm not going to go into the details, but there was a situation where I thought this girl like no longer liked me because of something. And I saw her at the gym and I went into the bathroom after I saw her, not because I was running from her, but just because I had to pee. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe I'm seeing her. Like, she's probably not going to want to talk to me. Like, I was making up all these scenarios in my head. And then I just paused and I was like, but what would Alaias tell the besties? What would I tell you in a video? And I was like, I would not sit there and tell you guys to be insecure, for me to be in the bathroom overthinking my entire life. No, I would say, act like she's in love with you, even though this situation happened that you don't really know how she feels about you anymore. Just pretend like she still likes you and just see what happens. I literally walk out of the bathroom, I see her on the treadmill, and I was like, hey girl, and I waved at her, and she literally came up to me because, you know, we're like mid-running doing the workout, and she came up to me right after the workout and was like, oh my God, like, how are you? I miss you. How have you been? And I was sitting there in my head after the interaction, like, so I literally made up this whole scenario in the bathroom that was so unnecessary, all because I thought she didn't like me, when that was not the case at all. What would happen if you walked around your life assuming that everybody was in love with you? That if it was your first time ever walking into the gym, versus being like, oh my gosh, I don't think people want me here at this gym. I don't know if I should be here. Like, everybody else is more fit than me. Like, I don't know if I should be here. What happened if you were like, no, I'm supposed to be here. This is the place that I'm called to be. If I'm in this room, it means I'm supposed to be here, and everyone's obsessed and in love with me anyways. It's not to make you conceited, but it's to make you get out of your own head, to say that other people do like you. And a lot of times we put limiting beliefs on ourselves before anybody gives us that information. So I want you to walk around like this entire world is in love with you, not to be conceited, but for you to have confidence. Let's talk vitamins and minerals, because if we're going to be leveling up over the next 60 days, ensuring that we're getting all the vitamins that we need is going to be crucial. And this is where Gem comes in. This is not the first time I've worked with Gem on my channel, and that's because that's how obsessed I am with this brand. They are delicious, nutrient-dense multivitamins, because what most people don't realize is that it can be really difficult to get all the vitamins and minerals that you need on a daily basis, especially if you're in school, a student athlete, or even just a busy mom. Most people will typically opt for synthetic pills and typical vitamins, and what most people don't realize is that contains a lot of fillers and synthetics. But with Gem, you're actually getting real food in every single bite. Each bite is packed with 20 plus real foods, vitamins, minerals, superfoods, probiotics, and prebiotics, making it much more bioavailable than a traditional multivitamin. Containing no fillers, just the good stuff that your body needs, because 90% of Americans are nutrient deficient. So even if you're eating your veggies and produce, you still may be falling short on the nutrients that you need on a daily basis. And I'm going to put here on the screen just some of the ingredients that are packed with Gem, but there are so many daily ingredients that your body needs, all within one bite. Every single time I take a bite of Gem, I get this tangy, sweet flavor. All of the tasty whole food ingredients are designed to work in harmony for optimal absorption, and results may vary based on everyone because all of our bodies are unique and different, but typically you're going to see a boost in energy levels, your hair and skin are going to be flourishing, and also because this is a prebiotic and a probiotic, you should see a healthy gut digestion. And just because you're watching this video, you're going to receive 50% off by checking out Gem in the description box below. All you have to do is use my code Alaias Alaias at checkout. And thank you so much, Jim, for sponsoring this portion of the video. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every single day. If there is one thing you should take away from this video, it is this habit. Most of our problems would be solved if we, number one, received enough sleep, and number two, had consistent sleep patterns and routines, because everything within our day, from how much energy that we have, from how many calories that we burn, all stems from how much sleep that we receive. And if you're able to put your body on a consistent rhythm and pattern, you are going to see the effects compound within your life. Dust off your vision board. If you want to become unrecognizable, you need to have a clear picture of who you want to be. And a lot of times at the beginning of the year, we will craft these incredible vision boards, but then they end up in the closet, never touched or never seen. And what I want you to do is pull that back out, set it as the background of your phone, hang it in your room, so that every single day for the next 60 days, you are reminded of the person that you want to be. And say you never created one, well, this is a perfect chance to get a jump start on it. And if you struggle with knowing or crafting and envisioning who you want to be, what I want you to do is create a life audit. A life audit means for 3 days, you're going to write down every single habit of what you do, whether it's waking up, what time you wake up, when you go to sleep, what you do throughout your day. And ultimately, at the end of the 3 days, I want you to take a look at everything that you're doing and see, is there anything that you're doing that doesn't align with the person that you want to be? This way, it doesn't mean you necessarily have to envision who you want to be, but you can just take a practical look at all of your habits and say, I don't know if me going to sleep at 2 a.m. is really going to help me in the future. Let me try going to bed a little bit earlier. Taking a life audit is really, really helpful in you saying, okay, these habits gotta go, and I need to figure out some new ones that are really going to help me in this season. The next thing I want you to do is to stop reading and start studying. I know this seems very backwards from what I talked about at the beginning of the video, but at the start of this year, my boyfriend and I set a goal to read 50 books every single year. So this was my first year ever doing it. And it's a great goal. I understand the ambition. I understand why we set it. We actually set it because we read that millionaires read at least 30 to 50 books every single year. And we're like, well, we want to be millionaires, so we're going to read these books. But what I realized is that I was going through books so quickly that I wasn't truly comprehending the information that it was saying. And there is such a difference between listening to something just to listen to it and it goes in one ear out the other, and actually studying something so that I could apply it to my life, and then hopefully, if I perfect it, teach it to you all. There's a different vibe and a different level of comprehension and action that when you start studying books and digesting it so that you can apply it, you are really going to see those habits start to implement and come into your life. No is a full sentence. I know you're worried about hurting other people's feelings, but what about your feelings? We will tell every story in the world on us saying no and how it's going to make this other person feel. But what if saying no is actually going to set boundaries in your life to make you happier and healthier, and the other person is just going to be okay with it? What would happen? Get honest with yourself and stop sugarcoating. I think one of the things I dislike about our generation right now so much is that we've become a soft generation, and if we are going to improve, if we're going to succeed, we need to be able to receive feedback. And a lot of times what happens is we put ourselves in environments where no one can provide us feedback because we place ourselves around other people who think like us, who talk like us, who act like us. And then if somebody comes in with a different opinion, we immediately shut that opinion out and we say, no, you're stupid. No, that's not what I want to hear. You're wrong. When maybe there's some validity to that point. And so when it comes to sugarcoating, I have a prime example for this. I love to go back and watch my YouTube channel when I first started. Oh boy, it's one of my favorite things to do when I need to be humbled, because I was not good. Like, I will watch my videos and put myself in the viewer's shoes of someone who's watching and has no relationship with me, doesn't know me at all. And I'm like, wow, I suck. And it's not to hate on myself. It's not to make me say I'm awful, I'm bad, and I shouldn't do it. But it's to call out, okay, maybe I need to do this a little bit better. Maybe I need to get to the point a little bit more in my videos. Maybe I need to be more concise. Maybe I need to be more of myself and just talk and not feel like I need to do all this stuff, but just be me and show up in that way. It wasn't to hurt me. It wasn't to say this girl who's trying or putting an effort is awful, but it's to say there's a skill with being a YouTuber. There's a skill with whatever passion or career or thing that you want to do. There's a skill with being married. Let's be real. It's a skill of being a great friend. And it's okay to say that we are struggling in these areas, but us sugarcoating things isn't going to help us get to that next step. It's actually going to hold us back even more. Search for the right conflict. If you look at multimillionaires, athletes, successful finance people, all of these groups are searching for conflict in ways that are going to level them up. They're not searching for the latest gossip girl drama. They're not searching for the latest TikTok or influencer beef. They're allergic to it. They don't have time for it because it's just going to hold them back and distract them from what they're trying to do. When I had just started my job, this was my first full-time position, I remember the first 6 to 8 months just literally looking and searching for any type of conflict that I could find in the organization, not to be filled with drama and not conflict that wasn't going to be purposeful. I searched for things that my boss couldn't solve because she was so busy doing everything that was on her plate. And a lot of us don't realize, like, when we get hired, when someone pulls us on, it's because that organization or that person is so busy that they need to hire somebody else to help them solve different things in the business so that they can continue working on higher level work. And the fastest way to get promoted is to take work, to be proactive, take initiative on things that no one is asking you to do. For 6 to 8 months, I just was searching in the organization, like, what can I do? What's going on? What are problem areas that need to be solved? And I pulled in different stakeholders to come in and give me feedback on my presentation. And then I presented it to my manager and to their manager, so my director level. Within a couple months, I was promoted. Not because I was hired at this job and I waited for them to give me work and I twiddled my thumbs and I was texting my bestie while I was at work. No, I was hired and I say, what can I do? What can I solve? What can I search for to help and to serve? It's a different mindset, but when you realize higher level people are solving high level problems. They're not solving petty problems. When you're a busy person and you're trying to solve huge things because it's going to help you get to the next level, you don't have time for the pettiness. The drama has to go. The talking bad about people has to go. The complaining about everything has to go. If I'm going to complain about something, it's going to be something that I'm trying to solve, and I need someone else with this who's up here thinking at this level who can help me problem solve to figure it out. I don't have time to talk about reality TV shows. I'm searching for high level conflict problems to solve and to have thoughtful responses to. Freeze your bananas. What I'm trying to say here is, number one, I love freezing my bananas because then it's really easy to make protein smoothies and other different recipes. But ultimately what I'm saying with this tip is to be resourceful. Whenever I would go grocery shopping, I would buy all these fruits and all these veggies and I'm like, wow, I have all this stuff. And then say after 5 days, it starts going bad. And I was like, dang, now I have to throw out all this food. Versus throwing out things, try to think about other practical ways to use them in your life. And this is a silly way of saying it by saying freeze your bananas, but really this is a metaphor for so many other things in your life. Maybe versus buying $8 coffees 5 times out of the week, you can buy your own espresso machine and save some money. And then over time, all of that money that you were pouring into Starbucks or into the local coffee shop, you could actually be doing that for yourself 3 times out of the week. And then your 2 times out of the week, you are splurging and get a little bit of coffee. Don't take anything personally. By not taking anything personally, you're freeing yourself from unnecessary suffering, because truly everybody's actions and words are really just a reflection of their own thoughts and opinions, and that has nothing to do with you. Taking things personally has a very selfish intent, and sometimes at the end of the day, it's not about you. Say you're at a coffee shop with your friend and the barista gets your order wrong and you told her 2 times while you were sitting there. She even read the order back to you, and you get your coffee and you go back to your friend and you're like, oh my gosh, and you start complaining to your friend about the coffee. You are now wasting precious time and moments complaining when maybe it's the barista's first day. Maybe the barista is stressed out because she lost her old job and this is the first day of a new job and she really needs to pay her rent this Friday. That could happen. That could not be the case. But honestly, whatever story you tell yourself is going to drive how you feel. It's going to drive your intent. It's going to drive your response. And sometimes it's just better to not drive ourselves to anxiety and to worry and to just think maybe this person's having a bad day and it's not about me. Lock in for the season. One thing I love about being a past track and field athlete is I learned that each year there were different phases within the year. And I love having a phase that I still call my track season. It's the season when I take one goal, one priority, and I hone in on that priority with everything that I got. And I really think, especially if you're watching this video, that for the next 60 days, there's something that you want to see change. There's something that you want to happen. And whatever that thing is, get to the root, the very root of that one huge desire that you want to see change at the end of the season, and lock in on it. Study everything that you can about the topic. Listen to podcasts, listen to YouTube videos, read books about it. Learn to distinguish the distraction from the assignment, because no matter what season it is, when you lock in, there's going to be things that are going to try to distract you, whether it's gambling, porn addiction, alcohol, friends, you name it. Something is going to be trying to pop up to get you to move away from your position. Why? Because the gravitational pull downwards is always stronger than the pull upwards. And so if you really want to become a new person, you're going to have to put things in place in your life so that you can ensure you're taking that next level up versus being pulled down. Whenever you see a hawk sitting on a tree and a branch breaks, you don't see the hawk cry. You don't see the hawk scream and yell and get frustrated. You see the hawk start to fly away. Why? Because the hawk was created with wings. And so when things happen, when this branch breaks or crumbles, it doesn't freak out and start swearing at the branch. It knows that whatever it's standing on may or may not break. It just may happen. It's a part of life. But the hawk has wings, a part of it, that allow it to fly away. Whenever something happens, as you're locking in over the next 60 days, I want you to remember that you have wings. You have things in your life. And so if something happens, if something's not perfect, you don't have to freak out. You don't have to lose control, because that's a part of it. Things crumble, but it doesn't mean you don't have wings. You can still soar. Drop the broke boo habits and pick up the rich boo habits. This is from a book that I read called We Should All Be Millionaires by Rachel Rodgers, and I'm obsessed with this section of the book because she calls us all out for filth. She was reading me for filth in this section. And for instance, broke boo habit is taking on all the responsibility in your household. Rich boo habits ask her kids to take on some responsibility and to pick up some chores. Broke boo habit is sitting in the house all day, every single day, thinking opportunities are going to fly to you. Rich boo habits gets stressed up and goes to a coffee shop and works out of the coffee shop because she just doesn't know who she may run into or meet that's going to spark a new idea or a new opportunity that she knew nothing about. Broke boo habit is missing her personal training sessions every single day of the week because she has to pick her kids up from school. Rich boo habit says, actually, we're going to start a carpool system so that 3 days out of the week, mommy can go get her workout in. Drop the broke boo habits and pick up the rich boo habits. Time block. This is one of the best productivity habits that I've ever started. I, at the start of each day, will time block different sections of my day based on what I need to get done. And I always prioritize the most important at the start of the day. So for instance, let's say I wake up at 5 a.m. It will be from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. I'm working on X project. From 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. I'm getting my workout in. From 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. I'm getting ready for work. So on and so forth. The reason why this is so important is because there should be no point in the day where you're twiddling your thumbs and thinking, I just have nothing to do today. Girl, if you want to become unrecognizable in 60 days, you need to lock in. You need to be focused and to utilize the time in the day because these days are fleeting. And I can't believe we're literally in October as I'm filming this video. So we don't have time to spare. Time blocking is going to be so crucial to you being productive throughout the day, locking in on your schedule so that you can be the most efficient and learn how to time manage. Live in a manner worthy of your calling. Most people treat their bodies like a beat up car versus the $1 million racehorse that it is. And if you're saying, I'm called to be different, I'm called to live out this purpose, I'm called to be a better version of myself, your daily habits and routines should reflect that. From what you eat, to how you move your body, to who you hang around. And if there's different aspects in your day that need to be plucked out, that's okay. It may hurt a little bit, but treat your body like the system, like this incredible thing that it is, because our bodies do amazing things. I have this thing in my phone on the notes app where I write down all of the incredible things that my body does, because I talk a lot about health and fitness. And sometimes in the health and fitness industry, it can be so easy to become so superficial about the way that our bodies are and the way that they look. I just want my body to look snatched. I just want my body to have a little 6-pack abs. I just want my body to have a big booty. None of those things are bad, but my body does so much more than that. My body wakes me up every single day. My body allows me to speak to you once a week. My body allows me to move my body around lakes and oceans or wherever I decide to go. My body is so much more than just this superficial being that has abs. And when you treat your body like that, you will see your body do incredible things. This is probably my most favorite one, and it's not about you. I'm a Christian, and sometimes being a Christian, I forget that when I get so wrapped up in anxiety, so wrapped up and overwhelmed, so wrapped up in what am I supposed to do? I just want to be better. I just want to be perfect. That's me every other day. I get so wrapped up in how I think things should be, and I forget that I'm not even living for me. I'm living for God. And so at the end of the day, whatever my purpose is, whatever I'm striving for, if I'm trying to become a better version of myself, it's not for Alaias. It's not so Alaias can sit here and brag and be like, oh my God, look at me. Guys, I'm better. Look at me at the end of the 6 weeks. X who? Like, it's not about that. It's about God. And I have to remind myself of this every single day, because if I didn't, I would live in such a selfish way. I would live in self-pity. I would live in anxiety. I would live in overwhelm. But once I started realizing I'm not showing up for me, I'm showing up so I can serve his purpose and serve his word. And I don't know what he's going to do through me. I hope it's incredible things. I feel like it's going to be incredible things, but I don't know for sure. And in all of those moments that I told you guys about at the beginning of this video of ways that I've reinvented myself, in the moments of change, I didn't know what God was doing. I didn't know that when I was a freshman in high school and I decided to lose over 75 pounds, that was going to be my testimony to this day on YouTube. I didn't know that when I was this undecided, lost freshman going into college, that ultimately it was going to help me be able to try different things and learn how to become a sideline reporter, where I learned how to set up a camera and speak into a mic and get dressed up and report at the time, like volleyball and soccer for the Big Ten. But now it's taught me how to set up an entire YouTube setup and production. I had no idea what that was teaching me. I had no idea that all of these small moments throughout my life were all leading me to do what I feel I'm called to do today. It was never about me. And all those moments where I was lost and confused and I was calling on God and I was saying, God, help me, because I don't know what to do. I feel so lost. I feel so confused. Can you please just come into this moment? There were so many moments. Like, let's just be real. There were so many moments I didn't know what the next step was. And I feel like that gets lost when we talk about reinventing ourselves. Like, yeah, I reinvented myself, but I didn't fully know what I was reinventing myself for. I was just like, I feel like I need to do this and I'm just going to take that next step. And so that's really all I want you to do as you watch this video. Just figure out what your one next step should be and take that and trust that next step and surrender everything else. Just let go and just trust. And I know let go is one of those things where it's like, oh, just let go. Like, it's so easy. It's hard. It's really hard. And it's something that I have to think about every single day. But the last thing that I want to do is overwhelm you with this video where you feel like I just gave you all of these tips and all of these things. And you're like, all right, but what do I do first? What I want you to do first is that if you're watching this video right around when this goes live, it's going to be November 1st, which means you have roughly 60 days until January 1st of 2025. And what I want you to do is for every single week for the next 8 weeks to pick one thing that I've talked about in this video and to implement that one thing. So for instance, in week 1, you could say, I want to wake up every single day at the same time and go to sleep at the same time, and perfect that for a week. And the next week, I want you to take something else that I shared in this video and to implement that. So then by the end of 2024, you will have implemented 8 new habits before 2025 even starts, allowing you to start 2025 as a completely different version of yourself. I feel so grateful to be able to share time with you, and I really truly hope this video impacted you. I love you so much, and I'll see you on the next video. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend, because we all are truly just trying to become a better version of ourselves. Bye.